Ooh, squirrel chase. Good afternoon, YouTube. So today I want to give you a little more detailed look at the greenhouse, and I want to talk about how I've been making my own soil. See, we're about 64 in here today. Not as warm as the tomatoes and peppers like it, but that's okay. You can see I have 2 rounds of tomatoes started so far. These were 3 or 4 weeks ago. These probably 2 weeks ago. And I have another batch in the house that's germinating as we speak. Variety wise, I don't have a whole lot of variety. I really stuck with a lot of Romas because we want to do a lot of sauce and dehydrating stuff this year. And I have some Better Boy and I have some Early Girl. But that's pretty much the only varieties other than what I've started in the house, which is Marglobe, an heirloom tomato. There's a little more aroma. They all look healthy right now. I also have cabbage started. And out in the tubs there we have kale growing. This is our focus today. This is the first year that I've really tried to make my own soil. And surprisingly it has turned out. I started with just a really old pile of manure down at the farmhouse that underneath has some beautiful rich black soil. So I started with that black soil. To that I added compost and vermiculite. This is the final product. This batch is what I would call transplant soil, like what's here. It's a little coarser and it has a little more compost in it. This batch is more starting soil. I still need to add a little more vermiculite to this. This is much finer. This has been sifted a couple of times so that you don't have lumps and clumps and whatnot when you're trying to plant those tiny seeds. So far this year I've only had to buy seeds and those 2 things, and we seem to be off to a good start. Let me take you out to the compost pile and show you what that looks like at the moment. So I turned all this morning. I'll roll some of that footage in here. This is the new pile. It's been just put together this year. It's half aged cow manure and half chicken litter from the coop. This is basically that same mix but a year later. This also has a little bit of chipped up branches and leaves in it that I did last spring. But when it comes to being nice compost, you see the worms? This is about what I'm looking for. This has made, especially when I sift it, it's made really good mixture with that black rich dirt from the farm. So when I turned this over today, there was no steam or anything coming out of it because this is fully composted compost. When I turned this over, there was a lot of steam coming out of the middle because all of this is still working. It will take 6 months or more before that finally stops. I like to turn it over every 3 or 4 weeks. Let it settle, let it get rained on, let it go through that working. Once the heat is gone out of it, I'll turn it all over again and let that start working and heating up so that over time you go from this to this. So in the coming weeks, some of this will be added to more soil in the greenhouse because I know I'm going to need a little bit more soil. But the majority of this, which is finished, will go on to the kitchen garden here. And then over the course of the year, as I said, we just continue to work this. Eventually it gets moved over to this side. And next spring a new pile starts here. So that's what I've been working on today. What have you been working on? This is the first. I should tell you a little more about Abbey's breed. She is a mutt. She is mixed Pyrenees, Labradoodle, and English Shepherd. Almost all those breeds are working breeds. She's definitely a working dog. I read at one point, if you don't give a working dog a job, they will create something for themselves. And that is true of Abbey. She has adopted the chickens. That's her flock. She watches them. Then she also does jobs like this where she thinks she should mix the compost just like I mix the compost. So that is today's quick video. Thank you very much for watching. See, it's shaping up to be a pretty good day here now. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the routine. Really appreciate you watching. We'll see y'all tomorrow.